Okay, people. I write these, type these out, and send them out to everyone. I thought I'd go live with a video with this. Um, this time to be more direct, I guess. Um, our dear leader, um, Janet Mills, our so-called governor, um, has changed her changed the 14-day quarantine restrictions, which were anyone coming into Maine had to quarantine for 14 days before they were let out into our great scenery here in Maine. And that was totally freaking ridiculous. No way to enforce it, and everyone knew it. Okay, so now here we are, a couple months later. She's already ruining Southern Maine's economy by having all the hotels closed down. Hotels, restaurants, most of the stores, grocery stores we can go to because people still need to buy food. However, we need to stand in the bread line in order to get in because it only allowed certain amount of people in the store at one time, and that is determined by square footage of the store. I'm sure you're all aware of this. Now, as the voice of the resistance in Maine, I thought it is my duty to report on all the happenings up here our dear dictator is trying to do. Excuse me. Um, as I said, she has changed the restrictions for COVID-19. Um, People entering our great state. Now, what people have to do is prove that they have received a negative result from from a COVID test itself, before they are allowed to stay here. And that is, they can, they must sign a certificate of compliance. Ooh, the government again stepping into private industry, stating that they are negative for COVID. Now, and the penalty for this, for lying, which everyone's going to do, is like a year in jail, $1,000 fine, or 6 months, or whatever it is. Anyway, it's not a day. Um, Now there are more details that you can go to mean.gov for those. The point is, some hotels will comply with this. Of course, they will. However, uh, if a private citizen is renting a house for a weekend to friends or just people they met online, let's say, whatever, do you really think they're going to do that? Do you really think they're going to have these people coming through the door, give these people a certificate of compliance and um, make them show that they are negative for COVID? I don't think so. Now, again, she is interfering in the private operation of a business. These are not companies owned by the government yet. However, that is looking more and more like will be the end result. Uh, she'll slap on more and more and more restrictions until the government basically is running the business. It is, as I said before, in my latest blast on Facebook and other social media, um, the rules and restrictions for contact tracing which is taking people's personal information and giving it to the government. Okay, I don't care what anyone says. You can say that you're all responsible and you don't want to get people sick and come to your restaurant, which is all well and good, but that you're not, you are violating people's civil rights. And this is even more of that, which will eventually it will become a government state. Um, it, she will, by the end of her term, have us have everyone have a list of everyone and everyone's private information, and she will own all the businesses, and you will all be working for her. So that's something for you to look forward to if you continue with your compliance with her. Complying, I mean, taking everyone's information, and um, by doing that, you get the privilege from the government to stay open. How about that? Everybody like that now? That's perfect. Now, my opinion, we should adopt the state. Um, what's the word? The ideals of New Hampshire, which are live free or die. And they, uh, we being under a good governor, Republican governor, Chris Sununu, who's doing his best to open New Hampshire and get everybody back to some semblance of normalcy. Um, we should stand up and not tell the governor we're not going to take this and do something now, or guess what? There's not going to be anyone of it able to do anything later. Your rights will be taken away, and you believe me, don't want to live in that state. So again, um, I am the voice of resistance in Maine. There are other people who I like to mention who are also standing up for our state, and they are Stand Up Maine. Sorry, Stand Up Maine. They have a Facebook page. Go look them up. You can see my um, ratings, if you so desire, on my Facebook page. Um, and You Do Outdoors, all social, Twitter, and depending on the length of it. Um, just look up Voice of the Resistance in Maine. That should get you something. And I'd like any and all comments. And please do your part to save our dear state. And unless you want to live by the rule of government, then in that case, that's just fine. You can be your sheep and eat your oats that are given to you by the government. So good luck with that. Thank you.